Okay, so it's finally Monday, and we have permission to talk about the massive spoiler from WandaVision Episode 5. This would be, of course, Evan Peters being the Quicksilver from the Fox X-Men movies in the MCU WandaVision show, and being embraced by Wanda as though he were her brother, while clearly being the one from the X-Men movies. So we're going to break that down, and don't worry, we're also going to explain why this is even a thing if you are totally lost. What's up, everybody? It's Josh. Welcome back to the channel. Smash that like button, and I want to remind you yet again that a large part of what we are doing on the Den of Nerds is happening over on our live streaming channel. Like yesterday when we did a 4-hour stream waiting for 2 to 4 Marvel trailers and only got one. Okay, so we're going to break down this Evan Peters thing. By now, it is the talk of the town. Everybody will be talking about this week on the internet as we head towards the next episode of WandaVision. We're going to be keeping an eye on this story because a lot of this is really mysterious. And until, like, Evan Peters himself comes out and says something, or maybe somebody else from the cast or Marvel says something, we have no official word on what his appearance actually means. However, there's a lot of rumors, leaks, insider information, the talk of the internet town about what this could possibly mean, and I have a crazy theory as well, and so, yeah, let's just do it. But first, a TLDR on why this is even a thing with the X-Men and Marvel. You might be thinking, aren't these both from Marvel? Aren't these both comic book characters? When do they meet Superman? So if you didn't know, in the 1990s, Marvel was, well, going bankrupt actually. So Marvel decided to sell the film rights or license for the film rights to their very popular characters in order to make some money to prevent them from going bankrupt. And so they did just that. They sold their most popular character license, that would be Spider-Man, to Sony, and then they sold very popular franchises in their own right in the Fantastic Four and the X-Men to Fox. And so all of those X-Men movies that you saw with Hugh Jackman, with Patrick Stewart, with all of those different actors over there, and this includes the newer ones that had Phoenix and that had Mystique and that had Michael Fassbender as Magneto, even that newer class of X-Men movies, all of those movies were made by different people than the people that make the Marvel movies with Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, Chris Evans, Captain America, that whole series of movies that led up to Endgame. That is the MCU, and it's created completely separate from the Fox X-Men universe. However, Disney has purchased all of those properties back from Fox and then some in a big merger type deal that happened a couple of years ago. And so now Feige has access to the X-Men characters. And the whole reason this is even a thing is because most people thought that Kevin Feige getting the X-Men back, getting the Fantastic Four back, would lead him to recast all of those characters and create his own version of the X-Men in Marvel's 616 universe. And that is why a character being from those movies showing up in a Marvel show now is weird. We don't know what it means. Okay, so now let's talk about the audio descriptive thing that was on the episode of WandaVision. This is really interesting, and a lot of nerds have been sort of picking up on this. It was indicated that in the show, this is not only a Pietro, but it is the version of Pietro from the X-Men movies. It says that in the audio description. So this is for people that are blind or seeing impaired, and it's supposed to aid them with what's going on in the show. And so just in case the people that were visually impaired couldn't quite make it out, they want you to know this is the version of Pietro as Quicksilver from the X-Men movies. And if you're a big sweaty, you will know instantly that that is bizarre. Now, there are all sorts of theories on what this could mean. Some people believe that it's just a recasting and it's not going to actually make that much of a difference. Something like what happened with War Machine between Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2. But I don't know about that, man. I think the fact that Darcy talks about it, the audio descriptive thing, and just all the weirdness that we've heard behind the scenes with the multiverse indicates that that's probably the least likely scenario. A lot of other people are saying this is just some kind of a trick. It doesn't actually mean that that is that version of Pietro from the multiverse, but this is Mephisto or Nightmare or some crazy character that's actually controlling all of this stuff. Yeah, it's that character that is being Pietro, and that's not actually Pietro. Which, I mean, I guess is possible, but I also think is unlikely, as if there is something controlling Wanda, I don't know, it seems like they're doing just fine at controlling Wanda. It seems like everything in Westview's going according to plan. Why would they bring in her brother to this situation? I don't necessarily think that that makes a lot of sense. And so, as weird as it seems, my current theory, and actually the one to me that makes the most sense, is that that is literally the Pietro from the Fox X-Men universe. It is literally that character in the show right now talking to Wanda. And the thing is, the actual way that that could be happening is not even the most interesting part. I think the most interesting question is, why would this be happening? Well, I think that that version of Pietro and our version of Wanda, despite not actually being the biological and physical twins that had the actual same universe, they still have a connection. In fact, I think the connection that they have, despite being from different universes, is super important to a lot of different relationships and character moments that are going to happen over the next couple of years with Marvel movies. So in this example, it would be a Pietro somehow becoming aware that a version of his sister in the multiverse is breaking the multiverse. And sure, that's bad, but also that's his sister, man. And so I truly believe he's coming here to try to bring her out, to try to snap her out of whatever's going on here, okay? And a thing that a lot of fans have picked up on is the fact that the alarms go off again when Pietro shows up. These alarms for S.W.O.R.D. are meant to indicate when there's a breach at the Hex barrier. It's also important to note that Wanda indicates that she didn't do that. She is not the one who made the doorbell ring to sort of break up this moment that she was having with Vision. And I believe her. I don't think she did that. I think it was literally just a Pietro that is trying to come help his sister. Now, is it possible that this Pietro was made aware of this situation by one Doctor Strange and or one Professor Xavier? That, I think, is totally possible. Now, one more thing I want to talk about here, and this would be J.K. Simmons in Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, that clearly is J. Jonah Jameson, but he looks different than the J. Jonah Jameson that we remember. But some people have indicated that that is actually the same character. And so when you look at what's going on with Spider-Man 3 and a lot of these castings, but there was an indication that they might have different costume designs, I think what's happening here with Pietro is going to explain what was going on with J.K. Simmons, which will then explain what is happening in Spider-Man 3 and what we then go on to see in Doctor Strange 2. And I am freaking here for it. The master plan of Kevin Feige is unraveling and coming to us right in front of our eyes. I think it's amazing. But let us know what you think about this theory, about the direction the show could go with Pietro and the multiverse evidence. And, of course, this heads to Secret Wars, which I'm surprised I didn't actually mention a million more times in this video. We'll have to save that for another video as well. But as always, yeah, let us know your thoughts about all of that and more in the comment section below. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.